Well, here we are, another day, another podcast. My name is David. This is the Vitalmoments podcast. You might be watching, you might be listening. Ron, if you are watching, he's got a new addition to his little office.
No, it's not new. It's back.
Where was it?
It was at home getting some health care.
Oh, healthcare. Were you laying hands on your plant?
No, we're getting it. Sometimes you just need to be repotted.
Repotted?
That's actually a good topic for discussion. When is it right to leave the church that you're part of to become part of another church and be repotted?
Ooh.
Wow.
Come on.
Because you think about the early church in the New Testament, they didn't jump from church to church, right? They didn't have that option.
You even said in the message this past weekend, don't be a bouncy ball Christian.
Yes.
Well, and I was like, man, we could brand those. We could brand those and shoot them out of a cannon, and all this is don't be a bouncy ball Christian.
Yeah.
Well, but really, they're not bouncy balls. They're like stress balls. So when you get like mad at the church that you're a part of, you can just squeeze your little stress ball.
Well, the thing
we're off the rails. We're off the rails. I love it.
Oh, dude. Oh, my goodness. I'm sure that Josh, the producer, is rolling his eyes right now. Josh does well.
Yeah. Well, he typically does roll his eyes at us.
Well, think about this, David. Think about this. The roots of your faith and the use of your gifts are stronger and more resilient when you are in the right pot. Your roots are stronger when you're in the right pot. And I think that's when I think about the Empowered series and where we've been driving this home the entire time. We're almost done. We got 1 week left.
Which is crazy.
I know. It's so crazy. It's amazing how we do these longer series and you blink and they're done. And I think, David, that's piece of it that I believe is for people to understand why we are doing the spiritual gifts series. And I know there's some people in all of our sites that are new to church, and this is all like brand new stuff. Or what we're hearing is people that grew up in church and they're like, I've been ripped off. I had no idea about the spiritual gift thing.
Well, I had a friend in the site that I lead, and I was just like, they're new to the VPC, but they came from another church. They moved to a small town just outside of Exeter. And I said, like, you like, did you guys talk about this at your church? And they were like, yeah, we talked a lot about spiritual gifts, but they never gave us room to actually explore them and practice them. And that's what's amazing right now is like a longer series like this that is teaching people and giving space is we're just hearing people say like, I don't want this to end.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to keep going.
It was interesting.
So this is awesome.
After one of the services in Poplar Hill, because remember when we started, I said, wouldn't it be amazing if down the road we introduced ourselves? Hi, my name is so-and-so. After Sunday morning talking on the gift of mercy, this person came up to me and says, hi, my name's Laura. I have the gift of mercy. And it was just,
come on.
Yeah, she shook my hand. And I mean, I've known Laura since she was a little kid, but now she's in her late 20s, I believe. But it was really great to just kind of go, yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to see accomplished. Yeah. And the reality is that the bouncy ball Christian will not be able to use their gifts to the fullest if they're just bouncing around from church to church, because you're not rooted in a particular local church, and you can't be encouraged, you can't be challenged, you can't have, it's not a place. If you're bouncing around, you can't find a place of confession and all the elements of understanding what it means in faith, right? And so that's why I think even the spiritual gift series is helping people discover what their spiritual gifts are, but yet even more important, it's been really driving people to understand you just don't go to church, you're part of the church. But all the time, all the while, David, my hope and my prayer is that it'll be a place where it's okay if you don't know what your gifts are. It's okay to, start serving in places that,
Let's jump into the gift of mercy, because I think this one for myself learning more and more about it, is that the mercy that we often talk about in our culture, in our world, it falls short of the truth of what mercy truly is in the kingdom of heaven. You kind of talked about it near the end of the talk. Often we search for karma, right? It's like you get what you deserve. Like, you've done these things, guess what? It's going to be tough for you. Unless it happens to us. We're like, well, I don't want karma to happen to me, right?
exactly.
Like I'm a good
Karma's
person.
great when it happens to our enemies.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I joke around that it's amazing, but it's such a truth bomb for so many people, right? It's just like, when karma happens to my enemies, it's like, yes, they get what they deserve. But Jesus says, pray for your enemies.
Yeah.
Like actually seek the well-being of them. And for me yesterday, I actually believe that was this moment for me again and again, that I'm reminded that Christ says, show mercy the way I show mercy. Not the way the world perceives it. So,
blessed are the merciful, right?
what was it? Yeah. What was the big thing for you? Because as you craft this message, as you wrestle with it, you delivered it a bunch, video 3 times on a Sunday in the site that you're at. Like, what were you seeing happen, maybe from stories, or what was your hope that was going to come out of this kind of conversation? Because we joked around, we looked at the numbers, like numbers were down online. Like, those numbers really don't lead to anything. But sometimes you'd be like, oh shoot, it's down. But some messages, they really hit online. But like, what were you really hoping for to happen out of this message?
The piece of it, honestly, David, is that the gift of mercy is a taste of God's mercy to us. Like the tangible understanding of the mercy of God is exemplified through the gift of mercy, and offering to someone something that they do not deserve. I love what it said, goodwill towards the miserable and the afflicted. When I discovered that in the study of it last week. I was talking to a pastor friend of mine who's in Newfoundland, Isaiah, and we were texting yesterday morning before church. We do this every Sunday just to encourage each other. And I just said to him, I'm preaching on the gift of mercy is a taste of God's mercy. And he's Pentecostal, so he wrote back, come on.
He'd be like, preach.
He was all in. I guess, David, there's an element of the gifts that we've been talking about that are flashy, that are like, I want the prophetic gift. I want the gift of knowledge. I want, even in the list of Romans 12, where he lists teaching and exhortation and leadership and giving and all these things, but then in the midst of it, he adds on the end of that list the gift of mercy, which levels the playing field in understanding that the gift of mercy is a necessary gift to be used within the context of the church, so that we can have a taste of God's kingdom and his mercy through the gift. And what is the gifts doing? The Spirit, it manifests himself through the gifts. And so the gift of mercy that someone might have, like the story that I shared, I love hearing the stories of people with this gift of mercy. They don't wait to be invited. They just show up and they sit with people. They listen. They don't talk a lot. They might pray. They might cry with. The gift of mercy steps in. And when someone makes bad choices and they're reaping the consequences of those choices, they're reaping reaping what you sow. That gift of mercy steps in and says, "Hey, like, I'm here." I was thinking about this the other day, David. I'm not sure if we'll leave this in, but I'll just share it with you. I was thinking about sometimes when things happen in our life, people often say, "Where's God? Where's God?" And is God just waiting for us with our gift of mercy to say, "I was just waiting for you to step in"? You know what I mean? Like, there's this element of where is God? Well, he would have shown up if the person with the gift of mercy would have just stepped in. And so, I'm not sure how to tease that out properly, David, but I just feel,
I think that's the proximity of how connected are you in a community, right? Are you actually allowing people to know you?
Yeah.
Are you actually stepping into moments to knowing others, right? We're believing at VPC that like all of our sites will grow in connection, like
Yeah.
proximity
Yeah.
with one another. I had a conversation with someone not too long ago is as a pastor, I can't get to know you if we're not bumping shoulders every once in a while, serving
Yeah.
alongside one another. And it was an amazing conversation that we have to grow in trust, grow in relationship, so that when you are going through something in life, I'm like, ooh, you're off right now. Not often like, oh, there's something
Yeah.
demonic happening. No, you're just off. Like you're not yourself right now. And I can then like step into that moment. I don't have the gift of mercy, but I'm called to be a shepherd.
Yeah.
But then we can draw people in and be like, oh, you need to go talk to this person, because you said 3 things that the gift of mercy has. It was feel,
See, feel,
I'm
respond.
dropping them.
See,
Feel, respond.
respond.
That was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Like it's not just feeling sorry for someone.
Right. Because if there's no response, then all it is feeling sorry for someone, right? That's what
Yeah,
Jesus
you're
did.
like, oh,
That's the
like
compassion piece, right?
because you joked around saying like it was so good. I don't know if you did it in the live. You're
I
like
did.
you text someone and be like, hey, let us know if you need anything.
Yeah.
And like you're just hoping on the other end like they don't
I
respond
know.
to that, right? But like the person with the gift of mercy, they feel that, they see that person,
Yeah.
and they act on it. They don't even say, hey, what do you need?
Right. Or they probably won't. You rarely hear them say, text,
Yeah.
reach out to me if you need something, because the gift of mercy
Mhm.
responds. Wouldn't it be amazing, David? You asked me, what would be the takeaway? I would love for the people with the gift of mercy to understand that when the gift is used, people would be able to say, hey, God showed up in my life through this person,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Like, hey, how did you manage to get through that season when you made some really bad choices and
hmm.
you're living in the consequences of those choices? How'd
Yeah.
you get through that? Well, God showed up through this person with the gift of mercy,
Hmm.
and I experienced God's mercy through that person with that gift. Like, that is a powerful posture within the body of Christ, within the church, right? Think about it in a connect group. When you're beginning to do life together and someone comes off the rails, and the world would say, you get what you deserve, but God says, no, I'm going to step in through this gift to show you my mercy and show you my goodness and kindness in the midst of it. So
You said something, I read your message before, then I saw it on Sunday, and you said something really interesting at the very end, and I really want to bring clarity to it. Often we as followers of Jesus, or people that are beginning to take steps of faith, we pray, we sing, God, may your plans be part of my life. Like I want your plans, Father. I want your plans, God, if they're good. Like Jeremiah 29:11 is the most out of context used verse ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have good plans for me, but they're in exile,
for
and it's
another
a really hard
70
moment.
years.
70 years. Shout out to all the people that have that tattoo. I'm one of them.
You are one of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
But now I know the context. It's absolutely crazy to think that it's not the plans that I want or the better life. I want his mercy and his will to be done. Do you think Christians fall short of that? Like they often miss the will and the will and his mercy?
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly which way to go with that.
Because the plans essentially are not bad.
No, my biggest concern, honestly, David, with that comment when I said someone needs this today, you need God's mercy more than you need God's plan to a better life. It's more because my concern in our individualistic Western mindset is I come to God for what I can get from him, right? What I can gain from him. And the truth is we really just need his mercy through Christ and the renewing of the Spirit in our lives. If we get nothing else from God, that is enough. Right?
You lack nothing.
You will lack nothing if that truth is a reality for you. The Titus 3 passage, right? And I guess that's where I was going to, because I think there's a piece of it that we need to break free from. Well, I tried Jesus for a while, but then he stopped working. Right? He's not a product that you buy off the shelf at Rona. And so for me, that line of you need God's mercy more than you need God's plan to a better life is to try to break us free from the consumer mentality of what I can get from God. And it was interesting, bit of a bunny trail, but we're known for that here.
We should call this the Bunny Trail Podcast.
I was talking to Ray. He was hosting for us in Poplar Hill, and we were kind of bantering back and forth about the morning and his welcome and stuff. And one of the thoughts that hit me about singing, for example, is we're not singing in praise and worship in a Sunday gathering to impress the person beside me. We're actually singing and praising to God. And first and foremost, it is to him. It is ministering to him. And so my life that has been redeemed by Christ is no longer me trying to get something from God. It's actually me surrendering to God. That posture of, Paul talks about Romans 12, a living sacrifice, where Jesus said, I died to self. It's not what I get from God. I don't get a better life from... How do I say this? Like, I don't know if I'm saying it properly in my head. It's all, I can see it in my head, but I'm having a hard time articulating it. It's truly what Jesus says. He calls us to die to self, right? To lay my life before him, because he laid down his life for me. It's not what I can get from him. It's what I can give back to him as I worship him, as a life of honoring him with through worship, and not worship and singing, but worship as in honoring and glorifying him. I got off track there, dude, but
no, because it all excuse me, sorry. It all comes back to him. Everything, the spiritual gifts, the fruit of the Spirit. I've been wrestling a lot lately with, like, does our gift actually operate fully if we don't have the fruit of the Spirit, right? The love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, right? Like, if we're just looking for the moments of being used by God, and he's like, you don't even have the character of me.
Right.
How like, I'll use you, but you could glorify yourself in these things. And I think what's happening, and I'm believing and I'm praying even more boldly in my quiet time with the Lord, is the fact that our sights would grow in character and passion to be humbly sitting with the Lord, to then go and do the work of the Lord with him, where it brings him this pleasure. Because often in the spiritual gifts, like theologians say, that the Lord finds pleasure.
Yeah.
Like, he actually, like, is filled with excitement to be used and to use us. Sorry. And I think that's what's happening a lot in our sites right now, is like Laura coming up saying, hey, my name's Laura and I have the gift of mercy. Like, that's her saying, I know how God's wired me, and I can't wait to be used by him to glorify him. And that's what's happening at Vitalpoint right
great.
now. Is there tension of, like, shoot, do I know my gift? Is it creating a little bit of anxiety? We're praying as a pastoral staff and a team that this would not be a moment filled with anxiety for you, but you would just step and say, you know what, I'm just going to get connected in my Connect group. We're on a serving team, and just begin the process of allowing people to speak into my life. And the rest is up to God. But we move in faith with him.
Good.
So, okay. Man, oh man.
We're almost done. Next one is
one more week. Last one is
gift of encouragement or exhortation.
Man,
it's gonna be good.
Fires me up.
Yeah. And then Easter. All the details on the website, social media, everything.
Woo! Easter's.
And
it's gonna be so much
our
fun.
Poplar Hill community, remember, you need tickets. Oh man.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
We were parking cars on the road. Our parking lot was so jammed on Sunday. We were parking cars on the road. Yeah. Actually, I talked to a guy on Sunday, lives in Alderson, I think, and he's been driving by on Sunday mornings and seeing all the cars and everything going on, and he saw that we had a third service. He said, "I thought I would stop in and see what's going on here," and it was kind of a funny conversation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah. All Easter info is on the website and social media, so make sure you're checking that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron, for your heart.
It's good to be back.
And it's good to be back. Okay. Peace out, everyone. Have a good one. See you later.